No pitch, just one of those days. Started early.
You know, never been here before. Yeah, it was. It's everybody's natural tendency is when you give up 5 runs in the first inning, it's like, man, you guys didn't show up today. That's not really the case ever. Our guys showed up ready to play. We just ran into a really good hitting team that hit 3 home runs in the first inning. When you do that, it seems like, it deflates everybody a little bit, Try and crawl back into it. When it gets 5-0, the next team to score when it's 5-0 is usually going to win the game, and they scored to extend it, which made it a little tougher for us.
You make a change right in the second inning, like Carlson gives you a couple of innings. Is it tough for a guy like that to enter a game in that kind of a situation?
Not for him. He's been pitching really good out of the bullpen lately, and he's got experience as a starter, so we knew we could get 3 or 4 innings out of him. It was just one of those days, things didn't go. We haven't played a bad game in a long, long time. And when you play 60 games a year, you're going to play some bad games. It's hard to avoid. It's just unfortunate that we played one today.
With a good hitting team, but also their starting pitcher was excellent for deep into this game.
All of their starting pitchers are excellent. All of their pitchers out of the bullpen are excellent. All of their hitters are good. They play really good defense. That makes them a top 10 team. That's why they are who they are.
A couple days in a row for Nathan being starting in the year. Is that something we should expect in the future?
He's got to hit a couple home runs, against really good pitching. And, the bottom of our lineup the whole season hasn't produced a ton. So just trying to find some pieces, that may help us moving forward.
With Osmond today, it looked like he was changing speeds some, up and down, and
he was good. We just, some days you hit, some days you don't. He made good pitches when he had to, and once you get to 5-0, guys are so excited to compete, and then all of a sudden you give up 5 in the first, and I think the at bats from the hitters were like, gosh, this is a pretty big hill we got right here. So that's and we don't have experience playing bad games, so that was a little bit foreign to us. And the at bats, I didn't think were as good.
Does that kind of mentality kind of play into the defense as well? Obviously the errors, but then the play out and left.
Thank you.
Austin had the ball come out of his glove like a tough liner.
You hope not.
Yeah.
You just try and compete on every pitch of every game. But kids are kids, fans are fans. Energy just gets sucked out of you. It seems like it's a snowball effect. You can't stop sometimes. AD will catch that ball 100 times in a row. And so will Braden Berry, and so will Tucker, and so will Mikey. We've been playing great defense lately. Just a bad day not to do it.
Any concern this loss carries over into Tuesday?
Who do we play Tuesday?
Yeah.
Would you like to answer your own question?
Well, obviously they hadn't played this bad all year, like you said.
Yeah, this was an anomaly for our team. We've got a good team, and I promise you they'll be ready for the Panthers this week.
That PNC Park game is always a special game every year. Can you just kind of speak to what that means to your guys?
It's pretty cool, for our guys to go out, stand in the same batter's box as some of the greatest players who've ever lived, who knows if Mike Trout or Tawny, I don't know who else played at PNC, but Soto from the Nationals, our left-hand hitters are going to get to stand in his footsteps, so to speak, and our pitchers, Mariano Rivera's pitched on that field, so they get to stand in his footsteps. It's just a really cool experience for the kids to do that, cool for the fans to see that game, and cool for both teams because we're both having pretty good years, so it should be a really good game. And, we're always excited to play up there.
Some of those names, do you tell them some of those names that stood there, or do you just kind of you trust that as baseball fans they kind of know that?
I don't know. I mentioned somebody to them the other day. They had no idea who I was talking about. Somebody, Pete Rose or something like that. It was Pete Rose. But they know the Sotos of the world and the Otanis. But I don't know if Manoah's maybe even ever pitched on that mound against the Pirates. I don't think he has. But they follow baseball. I'm old school, but they know today's players more than I do. So, but it'll be a cool experience for them.
Kind of in a similar that same type of thing in the rivalry with Pitt, or because it's a little more spread out?
No, I hate playing games like that. In my old age, I just want to play baseball.
Yeah.
I hate when kids do that. It takes the fun out of the game for me. It's great to cheer for your own team and be enthusiastic and cheer for your own guys. So you start yelling at the other team. That's just I don't think there's any place for that in baseball. I don't know. Some teams are notorious for it, and you hate to play those teams. But I try and teach my kids, Wimmer and Sierra, that it's all about your team. It's not about the other team. If you hit a home run, get a walk-off, or score a goal in hockey, one thing I hate to see when somebody hits a walk-off is when they run away from their team and the team's chasing them. You celebrate with your teammates. That's the best thing about playing sports, is being with your teammates. When my kids score a goal, they don't do crazy stuff. They go celebrate with the person that passed them the puck. It's that's the way we try and play. Just always cheering for each other. Got to reel them in sometimes because they hear what comes out of the other dugout way more than I do. But we just try and take care of that within our dugout. The way other people play, I don't try and get caught up in it.
Coach, there was obviously a lot of
Last one here.
interest in this going into the series. Obviously minus today. Did you learn anything about your kids over this 3-game series that maybe you were wondering about going in? Or
Yeah, we had played pretty well in the first 2 conference weekends, and I knew how good this team was. I actually thought the other 2 teams we played were down a little bit, and I was interested to see how we competed against a team that I think is legitimately a top 10 team.
Right.
And I was very pleased by the way we played against them. If you came to the first 2 games and you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know which team was in the top 10 and which
Right.
team was out of the top 10, because I thought we played better, if not as good as they did. So, yeah, I feel better about our guys after this weekend than I did going into it.